Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody, depending on where you are from. It is peanut butter jelly time! And welcome back to another episode of Let's Make Code with Minecraft. Very specifically, we're playing in the Minecraft Education Edition beta using the Code Connection and Microsoft's MEC Code programming platform. So I want to invite you guys, for those of you who have not joined us in the past couple of episodes, let me bring you up to speed and introduce you to my little agent over here. I will say hello. What the deuceberry's going on? Do you see what's going on here? Look at this. Wait a second. I'm shooting arrows out of my eye. It's a fake eye. You see, it's my fake eye. Watch out, because I'm shooting arrows. Well, there's a little bit of a glitch that I can update Microsoft on. Clearly, the 3D block modeling positions are a little bit on the askew, because that bow should not be hanging inside of my shoulder. Well, that's okay for now. Let me introduce you to this little guy. This is my agent, Garrett Z Agent, and he's a cute little critter who follows me along and does my bidding. He's kind of like my slave, but I treat him well. You know what? I give him, you know, lots of stuff. You know, in fact, if I go and I right-click on him, I can actually give him anything. So let's go ahead and pick out something that he might like. Let's give him a peanut butter jelly sandwich. How's that sound? We'll give him a peanut butter jelly sandwich, and you know what? Let's give him 64. He can be my little storage container. Now, first episode, I showed you guys how to kind of make your agent do a couple of things. And the first thing I did was I set up this little chat command over here, as you guys can see in this coding window that I have. And that is the chat command, hello agent. And I've repeated it 4 times and told my agent to move up and move down by 1. So let's see what happens when I say hello agent. If I do it correctly, hello agent. And he's gonna bounce up and down, very excited to see me. And that was actually an exciting piece of code that I wrote there. I want to see what you guys create, though. And what we're going to do eventually is we're going to turn this world, after we learn how to use Code Builder, and we're going to turn it into a game. We are actually going to create code that produces game effects and a game environment for you. As you guys know, I'm really, really big on the game-based learning side of things, using true game-based learning, not just throwing some badges and points and things like that at the kids. I believe that if we turn it into an adventure and we give them a good reason for playing and continuing to play, they will stay engaged. And I hope you guys agree with me on that. But for now, in this episode, we're actually not going to do too much work with our agent, so I'm going to say goodbye to you, little buddy. Bye. Bye. See you later. Yeah, wave your hands at me. Thank you, buddy. What we're going to do is finish a challenge that was presented to us by Cynthia Guzzard, or Mrs. Guzzard's class. And this challenge was how to build a roof using code. And it's really, really simple. So building things in Minecraft can be challenging. Let's go ahead, first of all, and give ourselves World Builder permission. World Builder, there we go, and we've set that to true. And let's just go off into the distance. And we know that building a roof can be fairly simple. All we got to do is a few blocks here, a few blocks here. There we go. We'll keep going out, fill them up, and then come in and there's a basic roof. All right, so we can do that. Or we can use stairs, and we can use many other things. But to do it with Code Builder requires a little bit of thought. So I want to show you one way today on how we can build something using Code Builder. And I've done it in a fairly complicated fashion, but there's a good reason for that, because I want you guys to be able to explore some of the options that Code Builder has for you, including some of the math, some of the variables, some of the logic, and some of the loops. So I'm going to press T here, and I'm going to show you this little bit of code that I've written right over here. So on chat command roof, the first thing we need to understand is that these on chat commands, what we have happening is we can say, call it roof. We're entering in a variable here, or a string. So anytime that I type that string or that variable into the world of Minecraft, it will pull this code and start it activating. So what I've got happening here is I've set my roof length, I've set my roof width, and I've set my roof height. I've got a builder, which is this builder tool, and that allows me to build sort of invisibly. And we also have a builder set origin, a roof height pulling from the variable. We want our builder facing a certain direction. We want to choose the blocks that we want to fill with. And we're going to go through this very, very quickly here. But I want to show you how this works. So let's go ahead and let's start with 6 by 6 by 3. And that's what we want. In fact, let's go with 4, because it's always better to have a little bit of an extra one, and I'll show you why. But we're going to go and just see if this code works right now. So if I type in roof, yeah, it's just roof, and we will see what happens. And automatically, I've built myself a roof. Very, very simple. Can do it without Code Builder. And by the way, there are many different ways that you can do this with Code Builder. And I want to issue you guys a challenge. At the end of the video, I am going to build a gigantic pyramid. And inside of that pyramid, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a coding hall of fame. That's right. I want you guys to provide me with challenges, and I want you to show me that you can do it. So in the comment section down below, make sure that you leave a challenge that you'd like me to fulfill. Would you like me to create a castle with this? Would you like me to do XYZ? Would you like to try a specific game mechanic? Do you want to see how coding works with non-player characters? How coding works with the... Oh, I don't know. Come up with any challenges. But for today's challenge, we're talking about the roof. And with the roof, there are so many different ways that you can build the roof using either your agent to have him move forward, detect blocks, place a certain amount of blocks on move, place from any slot so you can actually create or put blocks into his slot and have him build like that. Or you can simply use the builder function, which is very, very simply, it's like having creative mode, having your agent with a creative mode. All right? So fairly simple, without having to refill your agent's inventory. We're going to start using the building. All right, so first thing we want to think about when building a roof is the size and shape of the roof, right? So if the roof is going to be a pyramid shape, and we need to know the sizes, it's going to be the same length, the same width, and a different height, right? So let's think about this. We have to have something that tells us how big is our building going to be? How big is our roof going to be? And we've created those using what's called variables. So I'm going to go through variables really quickly. What I've done is I have clicked on Make a Variable. And I have typed in roof height. I've typed in basically whatever. So I've created a variable for roof height, roof length, and roof width. So let's go ahead and pull those in right now. And you'll notice that they've got a little puzzle piece on the end of it. That's the joy of this coding with Make Code, is you can see where all of these fit in. So anywhere that there's a puzzle piece, I can put that in. Now that code won't work because this is a single digit, but basically I can do this. Let's take this for example and go back to our variables, and we're going to use a set item 2. Now I want to create 3 of these, so I'm going to duplicate those 2 times by pressing Control C on one of them and then Control V. Now hold on, I hate the rain. We're going to do weather clear just to get rid of that. There we go, and that should soften it up. And we're going to bring roof, actually, we don't need to pull these variables in yet, but we will use them later. In fact, in the set, we have a choice of all the different variables that we've created. So there's an item, there's a height, there's a length. So let's start with length. We're going to go with width, and we're going to go with height. And let's block them all together. So we're going to lock them all together. Now, you'll notice that we're missing this big blue bar here. So this is in the player category where you can find your on-chat commands run, right? So this, let's go with that. On a chat command, we want to do something. So we're going to call this roof 1. There we go. And we're going to bring this code and literally just lock it in there. And now we've got our first piece. Now we've got to set the variables. So what this means is in this variable, we have to give it a number. We have to give it a digit, something to represent what it is. And the computer or the code will store that into it. And we can change that. We can manipulate it, and we can do lots of different things. And what it does, it allows us, as you'll see, we've got repeat roof height. We've got move forward by roof length, by roof width over here. We've got a couple of these variables in different spots. So what it allows us to do is say, okay, instead of having to change this as a number all over the place and make sure that it's 6 and prone to making mistakes, we can just say anytime that you get to this spot, always call the number that roof width is related to. So that means we only have to change it once. Really, really important in simplifying your code. And it's helpful for mistakes. So we'll go with 6, 6, and 4. Not 5, we want 4. 5 would pretty much do nothing. Then we've got this builder teleport, builder set origin. And what this will do, let's just bring those 2 blocks in here. And what this is going to do is basically allow us to teleport our builder to a specific location. Now, these are coordinates, and there's these little squiggly lines in here called tildes. And what the tilde means is it's relational. So in relationship to where me, myself, the player, is standing, those are the coordinates I want him to teleport to, or the builder to teleport to. There's another way that we can do positions, and that is with just standard world positions. So if you look up here and you look at my position on the screen, you can't see it when I tab out, but it says position 341 representing the x-axis, 8 representing the y, and minus 37. We can have it to always go to this specific location, all right? Just by doing this, we're going to drag that, and we are going to bring it in there. And then you just put in the digits that you want to represent. So that's going a little bit advanced. Let's just stick with the relational tilde 0, 0, 0, or sorry, tilde 0, tilde 0, tilde 0. And that means that in relationship to me, my builder is going to literally be on this block right there. He will be right there, right like where I'm standing. So that's perfect. All right, that's where we want our builder to start. Now, the next thing we want to do is set the origin of the builder. And the reason why we want to do that is just to basically make sure that that builder has a place to start from. As we begin coding, we want him to start at a specific place. Now, we're going to change that origin eventually, but it's always a good idea to set your builder origin. That way, if he moves forward, moves over, moves something like that, and you want to put another piece of code where he teleports back and maybe changes those blocks in some way, you can do that with the set origin. So it's not exactly essential, but we're going to use it. The other thing that we're going to be using in this piece of code is the repeat function. And the repeat function is very, very, very important. Now, right now, you see the repeat function has a 4 in it, but this one's a little bit different. We want to repeat our code in here enough times to build layer upon layer upon layer of the roof. So we want to go and we want to grab this variable that we pulled down here, and let's exchange that. And do you remember what that's going to mean? How much is the roof height going to be? Well, based on how we set the code here right now, you're right. It is 4, right? So the roof height, if I change that to 9, this is going to repeat 9 times. If I change that to 1, this will only repeat 1 time. So let's go ahead and just kind of leave it at 1 for now. Now we want to go and actually start building, all right? So the first thing I want to say to you guys is pay very, very close attention to which way your builder is facing. If your builder is moving forward and then turning left and then turning right and things like that, he will be facing in different directions, and that could change the way that you build. So the first thing I always want to do is set my builder facing a particular direction. So I'm going to set my builder facing west towards the negative x, and that would be that way, I believe. The next thing I want to do is toy around with the mark function. And the reason I'm showing you all of this, it's a little bit more complicated than just building a roof, but these give you an idea of some of the functionality that's involved. So placing a mark is almost like placing a flag. So if I place a flag and my builder starts moving forward, there will still be a mark here. And then I can go, and as you can see, I've got this builder fill from mark with. And what this does is it basically fills from my mark to wherever the builder is. So if he's gone 5 forward and 5 to the right, then it will fill up that entire area, that entire square box, 5 by 5, with whatever I want to fill it with. All right? So we place the mark. The next thing we want to do is have the builder move forward and move left. Now, we want to do it based on the length and the width. Okay? So in order to get to that section, we're going to go to our builder. And you'll notice that we've got a move forward by, and that has a drop down button that we can go up, left, right, down. But, you know, we're not seeing anything that allows us to do left, right, as well. So we would have to use 3 of these code blocks. There we go. And just like this, so we would go forward by X amount, we would go left by X amount, we would go up by X amount, and that's a little bit on the complicated side. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. And let's show you what we can do in the more function. So if you notice here, we've got builder position, builder will raise a wall. There's lots of different stuff that you guys can explore in here, but there's this. Builder move forward by 1, up by 1, and left by 1. And that's the one that we want to call. But we don't want to have to type in that number every time. So again, we're going to take the length. I want him to move forward by a certain length, which is the roof length. We don't want him to move up just yet. That will come at a different stage. And we do want him to move left by the roof width. And there we go. So now we've got that little bit of code. Now it's time to start filling from our mark. So we're going to go ahead and use the builder fill command. We're going to drag that down. We're going to choose, let's go with, what shall we use? You know what? Let's use an ice block, a packed ice block, and we'll go with that. Okay, so here's what's going on. We've got our roof height set to 1, our roof length and width to 6. So let's go ahead and just first of all see what we're doing with our code. All right, so this is the first piece of code. So let's go with roof, and let's see what happens. Oh, I built the wrong roof. We want to use roof 1. So let's go back over here and add a 1 to that. And there we go. Okay, so now we've got our little ice block. Now it's time to start building our roof up. And there's an easy way to do that. We can replicate that code. We can literally just type CV and take that entire code and say that's roof 2 and change all the digits in it or all the numbers in the variables. But we don't want to do that. You know what? Let's go and do it in a little bit of a simpler fashion. And that is using a little bit of math and using some more of the variables. So, first of all, if I go back into my screen here, and I want to show you guys this. So let's say we started it here. So what happened was, oh, I'm going to shrink here. There we go. I'm sliding along ice. That's not good. So we moved forward 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm pretending I'm the builder here. There we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So when my builder stopped here and placed a mark over there, let's just go ahead and place a mark. There we go. I then told him to fill this entire area. Now I could go back and I can minus and I can subtract and do all of that, but why don't I let the coding finish that for me? And I'm going to go back here. And so what I want to do is I want to add a couple of new commands. So the first thing I want to do is I want my builder to move back. Now, in order to create a nice roof, I need to start the roof from here, and then I need to start the next layer of the roof from there, and so on and so forth. And that way we'll have that nice pyramid-shaped roof. So in order to do that, I need to come in by 1 and up by 1, or forward by 1. All right, forward by 1 and left by 1. Now, I can do that just by placing, reset to origin. So that's one option. I can go to my builder and I can say, teleport my builder to the origin. And we're going to do it in a different way here. So we'll go teleport my builder to the origin. And then I want to have my builder move forward and left by 1. So remember how we got to that? We're going to go here. We're going to have forward by 1 and left by 1. Now, those we want hard digits in. We don't want them in relation to the roof length or those variables. The other way that we can do it is just have the builder who's up at that far end, way over there, and have him move backwards. And I think it's a really interesting way to showcase the math here. So I'm going to pull out this little bit of code just right here and show you how this is developed. So this is how we did this. So let's get rid of that. In fact, I'll bring those back there because I want that to still work. We're going to go with our builder, move forward by or back by, and I'm going to Control C and V, just to copy and paste. We're going to bring that over here. Now, you'll notice that there's something missing. There's this dark purple box that's missing, and my variables roof length and roof width are missing. So let's go ahead and grab a roof length. Let's grab a roof width, because we're going to need those variables. And let's go into the purple, which is the math. And you'll notice that we've got all these mathematical functions here. We can pick a random number. We can go random from X to Z, whatever the case is. We can choose a specific number. And in fact, we can go with a couple of other amazing different mathematical uses. So what we want to do, though, is we want to choose the minus function. So if I count with my builder here, let's just go back to here. I will need him to get to the spot that I wanted, to go backwards by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? Or, sorry, no. Only by 5 because he's already standing there. So he'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I want him to go this way by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then he's going to stand on this position, which is exactly where I want him. So let's go ahead and get rid of that, which I didn't have to. So how do I get to that number? Especially if I change my roof length and roof width values. So if, for example, I had changed this value to 12, well, I couldn't exactly just say move back by 5, could I? So what I want to do is use a little bit of math here. So we're going to go and place this little math puzzle piece into here. I'm going to duplicate it and place that one back into there. And what I want to do is I want to say whatever the roof length is set to, we subtract 1. And if I wanted to come in by 2 blocks every time, then I would subtract 2. On a larger scale, that would work. On a smaller scale, not so good looking at any rate. And then we'll do the same. We're going to always call the roof width, whatever number we set the roof width to, minus 1. And it's as simple as that. And then we have a couple of other things to do, because if I run this code right now, let's go and just kind of get back over here. There we go. And run the code. And in fact, I want to show you something really cool. If you press the snail button over here, you can actually see it run your code. And it's great for debugging and troubleshooting. So watch what happens here when I run that. You'll notice that it starts to populate through all of these pieces of code. There we go. And it did that. So now our builder is moved forward, but we only had the roof height set to 1, right? So it stopped there. It only repeated it 1 time. Let's set the roof height to 2 and just see what happens. Actually, we'll go for the original that we wanted, and we'll just see what happens. After we do this, weather clear. And we want to go roof 1. And let's watch it go. We'll watch it work. Here it goes. And it built the first level. Now it's repeating it again, as you can see. So what's happening? What it's doing is actually sending things out all the way over here. So a little bit of troubleshooting that we have to do. We've made a mistake in our code. So where was the mistake? It had to have happened between here and here. So we moved the builder forward by the roof length minus 1. We didn't want to do that, did we? No. We wanted to move backwards, and we wanted to move to the right. So we needed to change that. So let's try that again. And then it's going to go through this process. But I'll do one more thing. There's one thing that we're missing here, and you'll notice this move up. In order to move the roof up, we've got to move our builder up. So let's go ahead and move our builder up at this stage. It doesn't matter if we put him before or after. We're going to move our builder up by 1. So let's try this one more time. And we'll just see what happens. And we're running our code here. It's going to go through. There we go. And now it's going to repeat again. After it's moved up. There we go. Okay, so wait a second. Now we're repeating and moving forward. But that's not right. See, shouldn't it be getting rid of all of those and coming up like that? Shouldn't that be what was happening? Isn't it supposed to go up pyramid shape? It is. So we've got to fix something. So all we've done is basically put the exact same size of block on top of each other, moving forward and right by or left by 1. And so we've got this kind of cascading look going up. So let's try this again, but the first thing we need to do is minimize the amount of space. So we want it to come out here. So we need to lose 1, 2 blocks. So every time we go up by 1 and repeat this process, we want to change the roof length by 2. All right? So how do we do that? Let's go back into our variables, and we've got this cute little function called change item. And if we click on change roof length and bring that 1, we'll double it. We'll do the roof width as well. And we can do that by -2. All right, and that's exactly what we want to do. Let's go with -2, and that's going to solve our issue right there. Now, every time it repeats, it should do it. So let's take it off of slow-mo mode, and let's get this wrapped up. So if I go roof 1, you'll notice it builds a perfect roof, and that is fantastic. Now, the coolest thing that I can do is this. I can go and type in 72. I can go and type in 72, and I can go and type in, what would that be? I think that would be 36. So let's actually go with 37. You know, I don't want to have to type in 72 and 72 every single time that I try to change this. So let's throw a couple more pieces of math in here just for the fun of it. So we're going to bring this over here. And the roof length is going to equal, so let's bring this there, and I want to Control-C, Control-V, CV, there we go, and I'll just leave that one out there for a quick minute. So the roof length is going to equal whatever number I want. You know what? No, I don't need to do that. There we go. I only need this one for that. So sorry about that. So what we want to do is we want to have the roof length, which we're always going to have a square pyramid. So our roof width, what I want to do is go back into variables and say that it's always going to be equal to the roof length. All right? And that means that all I have to do is change this one number. Now with this one, I also want to not have to change it. So what I want to do is I want to divide 72 by 2. So I want to divide it in half plus 1 so that I get that little block on top. And so I'm going to take this math function in here. I'm going to go back to my variables, and I'm going to say this is the roof length, and I want the roof length divided by 2. And let's go back into here. Let's grab one more because I want to call, are you familiar with brackets, exponents, multiplication, division? So what I'm doing is I'm calling a new set, and I'm saying I want a certain function. So I want to divide it by 2 minus, let's see how I can do this. 1 second here. There we go. So this is what I want to do. Because I want to run these in one block, and it will. So I want to do 1 plus the roof length divided by, yeah, it would be by 2. So let's try that. And I don't want that. I want a division. So roof length divided by 2, 1 plus the roof length divided by 2. And that should give us the number that we want. Rather clear. Now, I could be doing this wrong, but we will see. So let's go ahead, and we've now got a pyramid the size of 72. And this should work. Let's pray to God that it works. Roof 1. And you can see our pyramid is going up. It's going up, and it's perfect. It's perfect. And we got the top. So that is absolutely fantastic. Okay. So guys, you guys now know how to use math, variables, how to set your variables, and how to use the builder to create a big, gigantic pyramid roof. Now, for you guys, I want you to leave in the comment section down below, what kind of pyramid do you want me to create for the Coding Hall of Fame? So let me know what your thoughts are, and if you guys have some code challenges, please leave them in the comments down below. If your classroom is using Microsoft Education Edition and Minecraft Code Builder, please do let me know what you're working on. I'd love to be kept apprised of it. You can find my Twitter information down below in the description. You can also find my email down below in the description. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to see what kind of amazing code you're doing. And again, If you're interested in finding a better solution for creating a roof, and I hope that you do, you will have the chance to get into the Codemaster Hall of Fame, or the Coding Hall of Fame. So tell me how you're creating your roofs using Code Builder and Microsoft Minecraft Education Edition. For now, Peanut Butter Jelly is out of here saying pieces, oh Reese's, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode.